Hello Sagittarius, so we're going to do a new moon reading for you for the next couple of weeks. So we're going to have a look at where you're at right now, so different energies that are surrounding you at the moment, which will be the first 4 cards out. So we'll get shuffling on those. So the first 4 cards will be energies for where you are right now, and then we'll have a little look at things to be excited about over the next couple of weeks and things to maybe be wary of. But for now we're just going for 2 more cards for your overall energies for where you are for my Sagittariuses, for the fire signs. Whoa. That's a lot. Okay, there's a lot going on for you at the moment, Saggies. Let's have a little look. So, your first card out was a temptation, which in the traditional deck is the devil. So I think for some of you, because your next card out was the Emperor in reverse. In fact, I'm going to separate these off into little bits and pieces of where they are. So, I don't feel that's a great combination because the Emperor in the upright is wonderful. He's very comfortable in his throne. He's got everything going on. It could be that you found your Emperor, but actually, I think the temptation is that you are not behaving like an Emperor, and the temptation that is leading you astray is preventing you from being at your best self. Or for some of you, it could be that you have someone in your life who isn't an Emperor, but you can't stay away from them. And you keep sneaking off to be around them. You also got, so for some of you, for your overall energy, you got the 4 of Rods with the Queen of Rods, both in reverse. So the 4 of Rods for me is very much swords. Sorry, in the upright, she's taking a break. She is taking a pause in what's going on. She's having a little bit of a break from the community, from everybody around her. But it's not. So you are maybe stepping back out into the wild, maybe for some of you, you've had the little break and it's time to come out of that and time to move on out of that sort of hermit energy, but you're not quite there yet. So actually maybe you don't feel in control of it. You don't feel that you're sharp. You don't feel that you've got the action to necessarily get back out there. Now, third lot, he's got the High Priestess upright. So for some of you will be following your intuition. You will be being guided by your angels, maybe, by guardians, by spirit guides, whoever it is. But you're not feeling that you've got the world yet, and there's also Page of Pentacles in reverse. So could be dealing with an earth sign, but you could also feel that intuitively, you know that things aren't going well right now. That maybe you're waiting on a new job, maybe you're waiting on a loan agreement or like a credit card or something financial to come through that hasn't come, and that is preventing you from feeling like you've got everything going. Maybe you are desperately waiting for something financial to come in, and you know intuitively from your High Priestess that once that comes in, the world is going to start turning in your favour. But at the moment, it's not. Sorry, that was a lot to take in. I feel like that's going to resonate. Some of it will resonate for some of you. If that resonates, all of it resonates for one person, that is a lot to take on. But yeah, obviously if it doesn't resonate, then drop me a DM or something and we can sort out a private reading. So we're going to have a couple of cards out next for things to be excited for the next couple of weeks, and then a couple of cards of things to be wary of for the next couple of weeks. So a couple of cards out for things to be excited about for Sagittarius in the next couple of weeks, between the new moon and the full moon. Okay, and then let's have some cards out for things to be wary of for the next couple of weeks for Sagittarius, please. Things to be wary of for the next couple of weeks for Sagittarius among us, between the new moon and the full moon. So anything else to be wary of over the next few weeks? God, Sagittarius. Either some of you have got a hell of a lot going on, or a lot of you are coming through. So first card out, things to be excited about. 9 of Swords. Now, traditionally, that isn't something to be excited about. Having your hands tied in front of your face, blocking your vision, refusing to see, feeling on edge, feeling anxiety, is not necessarily something to be excited about. However, you've also got the High Priestess in reverse. So for some of you, and the King of Pentacles in the upright. So I feel if you're dealing with an earth sign, I feel you not trusting your intuition is what is keeping you in that 9 of Swords energy. the Nine of Swords energy could be keeping you from following your intuition. And while that doesn't necessarily seem that it's something to be excited about, I think the combination of the two of them, because either you follow your intuition that's upright and you get out of your Nine of Swords, but for the moment, you're not following your intuition, and that is what's keeping you in the Nine of Swords. And that, for me, is why I think it is something to be excited about, because actually knowing, even though it might feel like everything is kind of against you, I think like if you're not following your intuition, that is what's keeping you in that anxious mindset. And knowing that is something to be excited about, because you can do something about that. You can follow your own intuition. Things to be wary of. Your first card out was the Wise One or the Hermit. So definitely be wary of being on your own, of taking too much time out. And the Hermit is very much about introspection, and sometimes that's good, and I think sometimes it's very important that we all spend time working on ourselves and looking at what we can do, looking at what we can offer, looking at what we have for the world. There is also a potential that, like, was it a Narcissus, I think, spent so much time, what did he look at? I really need to look up these myths again. Got so obsessed with looking at his own reflection. Did he fall in and drown, or something happened? Anyway, because he spent too much time, hence the narcissistic tendencies. Also, you ought to be wary of, you've got the close reversed. So be wary that maybe something isn't coming to an end, or you're not letting something come to an end. And maybe the advice there is you're spending a lot of time on your own, and you don't really want that to stop. And that is something to be wary of, because again, as we just said, it's good to go in, but sometimes you've got to come back out of it the other side, because otherwise, like what goes up must come down. Your other cards, you've got, hang on, that way around. Ace of Rods in reverse, so stagnancy, slow movement, lack of communication, lack of messages coming in, but also there's a new beginning to be wary of. So as I say, it could be, if you've got a fire sign that you're dealing with, I would say that's probably, something to be aware of. If there's a fire sign who's talking to you about transformation and changes and movement forward, I would say just be wary of that. Because sometimes people can offer you things which sound great in the first instance, but maybe the new offering that is coming in is stopping you from closing the door on something in the next few weeks, and maybe actually in the next couple of weeks it's time to put a close on something, to put a close on this fire sign that you've been dealing with, which is creating stagnancy, and maybe this is you, that you don't, because particularly with this deck, like, it's like the traditional Eight of Wands obviously is the one soaring through the air. With this, it's witches' broomsticks, like they are off with the birds that are like swallows, they're off. There's really fast movement, like she's in command of those brooms that are flying. So it could be that you're not commanding your own movement at the moment. I think that's definitely something to be careful of. I'm just going to grab some cards out of the Archangel Animal deck just for some advice for the next couple of weeks for Sagittarius, just to kind of help clarify some of these cards. So, oh my goodness, Sagittarius. So, it's going to be a long reading, sorry guys. So, for some of you, you got the Sheep, so you need to act with fortitude and cooperation, and that fell over the top of your Hermit card. So I think for some of you, if you feel that you are on your own and you're getting a little bit too comfortable on your own, then the advice here is to act with fortitude and to start cooperating, start getting back out into it. Your advice for not letting things go is the Llama. So the Llama is set clear boundaries and enforce them. So maybe someone is trying to hold on to you, or you are trying to hold on to someone, and if you don't set your own boundaries, so if you feel that there are things in your situation, could be in your relationship, could be in your workplace, that you can't seem to put an end to, maybe that is the time to set the boundaries on it. And because once you set those boundaries, if you stick to them, that will naturally put an end to things that are not serving you. Now, for your Ace of Rods, I know, because this is something to be wary of, My feeling was it was someone bringing in something that is maybe not quite true and maybe not quite helping you transform. Your advice for that is to live joyfully in the present. So with transformation on that, I would say you've got, transforming is all about movement and about growth, and, the caterpillar into the chrysalis into the butterfly. They're not over. Every stage of a caterpillar's life takes it onto something new, but they don't, like if you see a caterpillar, it doesn't sit around on the leaf just waiting to turn into a butterfly. It enjoys its moment. It enjoys what it's doing. It lives joyfully in the present while it's a caterpillar. When it's in the cocoon and the chrysalis, I forget which way around it is for butterflies, moths. They're not, we presume they're not in there waiting and waiting to become a butterfly. Like they're happy in that state. They know what change is going on. And for your 8 of rods in reverse, it was to accept happiness and good fortune with the ladybird. So maybe the lack of movement, the lack of control you have over your messaging, over your movements, where you're going, your travel, is something that you need to just accept. And accept that it's a happy time. So I'd say in order to flip that, so maybe at the moment the wariness, the warning is you are not in control of your travel and your communications. In order to flip that, you need to accept the happiness and the good fortune that you have. I think that's how I would take that, Sagittarius. Anyway, as I say, if any of that resonated to people, great. If all of that resonated to one person, I would say you definitely would need a private reading to clarify some of it. If it didn't resonate, there was a whole lot in there, then hopefully a private reading will. So give me a shout. If not, I'll see you soon. Bye.